Hi. Welcome back to this here chaos that is me, your void, coming at you live and in color, flesh, digital made entity with something that is called the MidYear book Freakout extravaganza. I'm new to this thing, so I haven't been here for the past 6 months, but alas, I have read books in the last 6 months, so let's freak out about them, shall we? So this is a tag that everyone does. I have no idea where it's coming from. Probably gonna find out and put it on in the description down below. Anything blah blah. I'm going to put the questions there as well. So if you want to do it, just peepers down there, not in my crotch area. Description. Question number 1. What is the best book you've read so far in this here year 2023? That would be In the Shadow of Lightning by my love, my god, Brian McClellan, who is the genius behind my favorite book, which is totally not on purpose displayed up here. This is a wonderful little story in a new universe. No powder mages here. Instead, we get glass mages. I hate to compare it to something that Brandon Sanderson wrote because, unpopular opinion, I don't like Brandon Sanderson. But he actually is has a comment on the cover. But it's I wouldn't say it's very similar to Mistborn, but it has a similar concept in its magic system. In this, we have something called God Glass, and there are many different varieties of God Glass, and depending on what kind of variety of God Glass you have, certain attributes you have are enhanced. Like, we have Wit Glass that makes you cleverer than other people, we have Forge Glass that makes things very, very sturdy, and stuff like that. In any Brian McClellan book, there will be multiple kinds of magic. So we have the God Glass, which are basically magic items that almost anyone can use, but there are also things called glass dancers, who are mages that can manipulate glass with their will, and they come in different strengths. And again, as with all of Brian McClellan's books, war is brewing in this one. We follow MidYear, who was a war hero, and then something happened, and then he couldn't cope with it, so he did the sensible thing of running away for 9 years and hiding on the outskirts of the empire he is part of. But now things have happened. His mom was murdered, and now he has to come back and take over the family business, and things spiral out from there. Problems everywhere. One of which being that God Glass is a finite resource and it is going downhill fast with the supplies. But the demand is high because all of society works on God Glass. Look at these illustrations of God Glass. Like, fuck yeah. So there you go. It's a good book. Go read it. Can't wait for book 2. Probably going to be a while because this came out this year. Question number 2. What is the best sequel you read this year so far in 2023? Yes, good words. That would be Learn My Lesson by Katee Roberts, which is the second book in the Wicked Villain series, which is a contemporary retelling of certain Disney movies, but the villain gets the love interest. In this particular case, it is Hades, who gets both Hercules and Megara. And let me tell you something, I didn't know that I needed Hades to be a BDSM club owner, but apparently I did! So yeah, this is a wonderful little polyamory story. Yes, there is sword crossing going on. These people are so broken and yet so wholesome for some reason. Is good story. Can confirm is good story. There is also a certain story point in here that links back to the Dark Olympus series of Katee Roberts, and I am way too invested in that storyline. I need answers. Question number 3. What is a new release you haven't read yet but want to? That would be Entranced by the Basilisk by Lillian Lark, which is an author that I found through going down a rabbit hole on TikTok, and I read one book and I was just in it, and then I read another book and whoo! Need more. Entranced by the Basilisk just came out, I believe it's a couple of months old at this point. That is definitely on the horizon. It will be mine, and I will read it, and I will probably love it. It's about a librarian who just stumbled into the world of magical creatures, and now she has to kind of navigate her way through all of that with her boss and a mysterious benefactor of the library she's working at, and one of them is a basilisk, as in snake person. Like, the cover is the cover, the snake. That this is definitely in the category of monster spice, so beware. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Full disclosure, I am not someone who keeps track of what is releasing at what point. I usually just see a pretty cover and go for it. Sometimes I read the blurb. I would just say on a broader spectrum, because I know these two publish at a rate that is insane. Anything that Lillian Lark or Cleo Evans put out is anticipated. Especially Cleo Evans is like pulling out 500 books a year. Like, every other day there is a new book being announced on the Instagram page and stuff. So I have to catch up at some point. Going to be hard. But yeah, anything published by Lillian Lark and or Cleo Evans is very much anticipated. I like what they're doing so far. Question number 5. What was your biggest disappointment of the year so far? Well, that would be Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I was promised something, and this book did not deliver. I was promised Hunger Games in space. I was promised action. I was promised plot twists. I was promised devastating character things happening to me. And in the end, it was just a bunch of kids playing war. It wasn't big and grand and interesting as I thought. I mean, I guess it is kind of like Hunger Games, but yeah, it didn't really grab my attention as much as I thought it would. This is another one where having the audiobook while reading along helped so much. This is about a guy named Darrow who is a red in a world where you want to be anything but a red. They are like the low class. They are basically enslaved by their golden overlords. And one day shit happens to Darrow and he is recruited into this rebellious group, and they make him infiltrate the golds, and that's where he starts playing war with other people, and he's basically trying to overthrow the government. Eat the rich, I say. Kind of boring. Was expecting more. We'll see where it goes. Question number 6. What was the biggest surprise you've read so far? Well, Golden Sun by Pierce Brown, which is the second book in the Red Rising trilogy. After the disappointment that was Red Rising, I was going into this, okay, I guess I'll read it, but my expectations were a lot lower than they were for Red Rising, meaning the things that happened in this book surprised me in a positive way. Again, I needed the audiobook to get through. That's probably going to be the standard go-to thing for me and Pierce Brown books, that I need the audiobook to get through. This book was more political, kind of, than the first book, because now we are actually interacting with the world and not just playing at war. It dragged here and there. There was still boring parts in here, but the ending saves this book so hard. The ending did catch me off guard, and I love it when a book manages to do that, because that is very rare for a book to do. So yeah, congratulations, Golden Sun, biggest surprise of the year. Question number 7 is... who's your new favorite author? I am going with a new to you author, which would be Sierra Simone. Beware, I only have a sample size of one book, which is Priest. But yeah, this is one of those books that has no right to be as good as it is. This is a book you pick up not because you want to read a good old really deep thought out plot. This is not a book you pick up for the impeccable world building you can lose yourself in. No. This is pure self-indulgence. This is a smut. I mean, look at the cover. This is standard smut covers, and I'm so mad because I got this book with this cover and then they changed the cover and now it's just a title with some flowers smacked across it and I can't find the other covers. Meaning for the other 2 or 3 books in this series specifically, I have to get mismatching covers, and I hate that. I'm fine with hot men on my covers. Give me the old covers, please. Yeah, this is a story about a priest who is desperately trying not to fall in love with a new neighbor of his. Doesn't work out. If you are iffy with religious themes, especially with like misusing the power of the church, maybe don't read this. He is a priest, but only kind of on paper. I mean, yeah, it's a book. Where else would he be a priest? If religion involved in your smut isn't something you want, stay away. Question number 8 is, who's your newest fictional crush? Remember how I mentioned Lillian Lark a bunch of times? Well, Alistair. Alistair from Deceived by the Gargoyles, written by Lillian Lark, is... Did you ever dream about having a huge-ass gargoyle friend who is not only managing a successful company but also likes to read and is just an overall idiot when it comes to other things? He also has 2 wonderful boyfriends and a new girlfriend, and he is just... It's the meme with the man with the huge pecs, and I just wanna dump my face into him. Like, he's just... There's no describing the found family relationship in this. It is so warm and cuddly and just so good. Question number 9. Who is your newest favorite character? I go with Damia from In the Shadow of Lightning. He's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. He's a glass dancer of the highest level, so he can slice you to ribbons with a thought. He likes to gamble. He is a broken man. I love me a broken man. So he is powerful. He is somewhat of a military genius, like to a point where he can openly insult the government to their faces because he knows they need him because no one else can do what he's going to do. And then he does it. Yeah, Damien is just a cool dude, and he's just nice. Like, he's helping people when he can help people. He tries to help. It's all a bit much for him. He needs a break. He's probably not going to get a break, but he needs one. Question number 10. A book that made you cry. Here's a confession. I don't cry at books, but there is one book. The first book I read this year. It's called Angels Before Men by... I forgot the author's name. And it's basically a coming-of-age retelling of Paradise Lost, the part with Lucifer in it. That shit got me shooketh! Like, whew! Like, I openly screamed at this book. If I had a physical copy of it, it would have probably learned how to fly multiple times. Those were some punches with spikes on them. Oh boy. Number 11. A book that made you happy. That would be An Emporium of Hearts by Haley Turner, which is a short little super cute novella I picked up for Stuff Your Kindle Day in March. And I was like, yeah, I need something short to read to just... And I did it. I read Emporium of Hearts, and oh my god, it's so cute! It's just... there is no real plot. There is no real spice either. Like, there is spice in there, but like it's not... It's just 2 guys falling in love. What is the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or that you have received? So that would be two wonderful, wonderful, wonderful books. Both of them by Cleo Evans, so beware if you want to read them. But yeah, the first one being Doves and Demons. I mean, look at it. Look at her. Look at the steampunky greatness of this cover. This is a monster romance with a plague doctor, a moth-like fae person, a human, and I forgot what number 3 was. Everyone loves everyone as far as I know. Oh, it's right here. A mothman, an unseelie, and a demonic plague doctor. Welcome to London in the roaring 20s. And they are filled with fangs and freaks. Apparently, this is also still on my TBR. I really want to read it, but I don't know when. And the other book is also Cleo Evans, which is Thieves and Monsters again. Look, it's so pretty. And this is a mafia monster romance, and these 3, these beautiful bitches up here, they are Cerberus. And yes, she is hitting it up with all 3 of them. I think even at the same time. I don't know. I haven't read this book yet. Again, Cleo Evans, monster romance. Beware if you want to read it, but it's pretty. It's so pretty. And there is character art in here. I probably need to censor this. But yeah, the art of the characters is in here. In the book. All 4 of them. I'm not gonna look up all of them, but they are in here. You get free art thingies by buying the book. Pretty! Question number 13. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? All the books I started and I haven't finished yet. That's the thing I do. I start books and I don't finish them. Which is why in December, in December I usually don't have a TBR. I just challenge myself to finish the books I've started. Does it work? Sometimes. So yeah, every book that I have started but not finished yet is on that list. One of them is still and will forever be, probably not forever because Threads of Power is coming out. So at some point I will have to finish Conjuring of Light, which I have been putting off reading the last 100 pages for, at this point, I believe 3 or 4 years. Because I don't want to happen what happens next. For example, Soul Keeper by David Dalglish, for example, it's taken me forever to get through that one. There is a chance that The Lies of Locke Lamora is ending up on that one as well, even though it is on my July TBR. It's generally the big chonkers that have a really long Act 2, because Act 2 and I have a love-hate relationship. I know Act 2 has to exist for storytelling purposes, but oh my god, why is Act 2 so hard to write? Why is Act 2 so hard to read? God, why is Act 2 a thing? Question number 14. Who are some creators you're loving? Yeah, this is the part where it's getting awkward because I don't know how to express my appreciation for people. So just have a list of people I like on this godforsaken app. So yeah, that's it. That's the mid-year book freakout extravaganza without the extra and the vaganza. Guess I'll see you in the next video. I still don't know how to close out videos. Okay, so cool. Bye!